Hey, how's it going, everybody? Can everybody hear me okay? I just want to make sure that the mic is working and that the music isn't still playing. What's up, everybody? Harry Waters, thank you so much for joining. Creepers290, hey, everybody. How's it going? Awesome. Cool. Okay. So, yay. Okay. Awesome, Kieran. Nice to see you guys. Really excited to announce that we are having the game jam going on currently, and it's this weekend, and you have 72 hours to make the best game that you possibly can, and I'm here to answer any questions that you might have regarding the game jam. So please let me know if there's anything at all that you are curious about, or if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them right now. And if you can also ask some questions about the software too, if you don't have any questions about the game jam. But today we wanted to give you guys all an hour to just shoot over any questions live that you might have about the game jam, and we'll get them answered for you. So let's see here. What do we got so far for game jam questions? Let's see here. I got a message from Harry Waters. I made a game called Bounce, and it's a simple game where you jump over the spike enemies, and I'm trying to improve it by adding different features. Any tips or ideas? Okay, you got a game called Bounce. It's a simple game where you jump over spike enemies, and you try to improve it by adding different features. Any tips? Yeah, so okay, one tip that was like very popular, this is kind of more old school, but is involving some sort of like color changing aspect to the game, kind of like like color switch. So maybe your character bounces, and maybe maybe the color of your character changes, and then maybe if you're the same color as the spikes, maybe all of a sudden those spikes are now coins. You can actually run into those, and then they become points. But if you're the wrong color, maybe they're enemies or something. So color changing. Also, this was kind of an interesting one, but I was experimenting with incorporating mathematics into games a little bit. So here's like an example. So I had a game called Number Jump, right, that I made as a template. I'm working on getting it into the software for you guys. I shared it a very long time ago. You can still download it online. It's an old BB3 template. I can share the link to that video in the description here, or actually. Yeah, I'll share it later because it's going to take a while for me to look it up because it's an old one. But basically, the way it worked is you would jump. You'd have the first few jumps, and each jump you would jump one cube, like one unit, right? But then after that, after the first beginner cubes, every single cube after that, it's this big long stretch of cubes, and there's empty spaces too, gaps that you can fall through. Each cube has a number on it. And each number represents how far your next jump will be. So if you land on one cube and it's a 3, that means the next jump it's going to jump 3 spaces. If you land on 2 spaces, 1 space, so on. And you could get crazy. You can go up to 7 or something like that. And then if you want to get really just get wild with it, and this could almost be like a mathematics tutoring or training game, do something like 3 plus 4 and 5 minus 2 and 9 minus 7. You know what I mean? Or something like the square root of 9 or something like that. And basically then people have to figure out right on the fly how many immediately they have to do math super fast and try to figure out how many cubes they're jumping. I don't really know if mathematics is the way you want to go, but it was something that I really enjoyed, and I was a math major and stuff, so I enjoy using math to kind of tweak with things. But basically you can experiment with these type of things, color changing, incorporating numbers in there somehow. those different types of things. One thing I do for inspiration is I play the old Mario Party games, because they have like all these mini games built into them, and so those tend to give me like inspiration for like new ideas, right? So because it's just like a ton of games really fast. Okay, let's see here. How to wake up spike enemies right to left in the air. Brother, love you, Zach. Oh, what's up, Practical Gamer? Thank you so much for the question. All right, well, hell, let's do it. So I'll still answer questions about the game jam for sure, though. So if you guys have any questions about the game jam, that's what today's all about. Just like letting you guys know. What the rules are and stuff like that for the game jam, if you have any questions or need anything clarified. So but let's go ahead and let's go ahead and do a spike enemy left to right in the air. Okay, so this one's really fast and easy, so I can it's gonna take me I should time myself. I set library, and then we'll add a wave node and a wake up node. That's it. So okay, asset library. Let's grab a spike enemy. Cool. Let's get the spike enemy out here. Let's add in actually one more scene so that we have a little bit to play around with. Stretch out my scene a little bit and name it scene 1. And then I'll share this with you on Discord after this. So basically we have this spike enemy, right? And you want it to go side to side, right? So first, to make it go side to side, oh, this is kind of cool. It already has the rotate built into it. We'll add movement, and we'll add a wave node, and we'll hook that up. And actually, we'll wait to hook that up. We'll do we got the wave node, and next we need a wake up node. Okay, I think everybody can see this okay, can see my screen okay. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so it's a little easier for everybody to see, because I know it's kind of tiny. So, hook up the wake up node, and then once you wake up, it starts the wave. The wave vector is going to be X, so it's going to be side to side. Wave speed's whatever, it's fine. Maybe I'll crank it up a little bit. Let's do 5. And then wake up the distance. Let's do distance 100, just for right now. And then no sleep distance. Okay, and then we need the cube. So this wake up, I believe the way it works is it's going to wake up based on the character, right? So we have to have this be a character. Oops, we have to have this thing be a character. And then let's give it just a little bit of movement down the path so that we can see this example work. Okay, so what's going to happen is the cube's going to move down this path straight ahead, and then hopefully the spike starts waking up and starts moving side to side. Oh, oops, I need to move the camera a little bit different so that you can see this a little bit better. Okay, cool. Let's check that out. All right, moving close to the spike, and then once it's close enough, the spike should start moving side to side. Okay, great. I would probably make it move more, like further side to side, and then let's check this out a little bit more, like that, and then let's do a bigger wave. Let's do like 10 or something. Yeah, or 8. And then 5 was fine. And then let's do an earlier wake up though. Let's do 300 so it wakes up a little bit earlier. So so we don't have to wait as long. Okay, cool. Come on. And wake up. Boom. Spike moving side to side. So yeah. That's what you could do. One thing that would be nice is if we chose like the affected asset. If you could have put affected asset on, I'm going to make a note of that real fast for one of our developers, is make a note to add affected asset to the wake up node. Okay. Or at least discuss it. I would like to talk about maybe adding that. It might be useful. All right. Let's see here. Next question. Okay, so how do I wake up spike enemies left or right in the air? Okay. Practical Gamer, I hope that answered your question. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully that answered your question. I'm going to go ahead and save this real fast. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to save this and then share it on Discord. Wake up spike enemy in air side to side. Yeah. That is not short, but you will definitely understand what example I'm talking about. Okay. Let's go Discord. Give me just a second. Come on. There it is. Okay. Let's go to Buildbox. Buildbox live streams. Perfect. And I will drop this in here for you guys. Wake up spike enemy. And no comment. Okay, cool. So that's done. Next question is Game Aim and Practical Gamer. Please explain how to do a free coin shop character shop. The truth is, guys, we don't have a character shop yet. It can be done through different methods, but the truth is that we're working on making a method that is way easier. It's going to be just like BB2, where you know how we have like multiple select in BB2, where it just makes the whole coin shop structure super easy. So it's going to be structured like that, and basically, like the only thing that's really preventing us, preventing it from working, is we need a way to send signals from the UI back over into the world, so that when you go to your coin shop and you buy your character, you select your character, and you go back to your world, you're using that character in that world. So we're working on it. It's like a major request, and I know for so many of you it's completely necessary. So we hear you. We're working on it. I've already brought it up to the team. The developers know about it, and it's a priority for sure. Okay. So how to add glow effect for 3D object in Buildbox. Okay, so there's kind of different ways to get a glow effect, but so basically one way, I'll go ahead and I'll get rid of the grass so that it's a little easier to see when we preview. But basically, one way to do it is you get a light, right? And you could increase the intensity to something like, let's do 10 and 100 for the range. Yeah, okay, that might be a little bit too much. Let's do 5 for the intensity and 60 for the range. Okay, so then what you do is then you take that point light and you drag it and you drop it onto the object that you want to glow, right? And so so then the glow effect, the point light, will move with the object. So watch. So you can kind of see the glow effect is moving with it, and then you'll see like once it goes past, you see how the glow stops, right? And then it looks like the other side is glowing, and then this side of the spike is now black, right? So the point light is moving with the character. It might be a little bit difficult to see in that example, but okay, so that's one example of how to make a glow effect. Another example, okay? Another example is to add like a little bit of like incandescence, okay? Do you see how when we add incandescence, the lines get kind of blown out? Like the whole actual color of the object gets kind of blown out, a little bit less defined, maybe as far as like the 3D aspect of it, but for sure it's glowing. Right? It's for sure got this kind of like glow look to it. So you can crank that sucker up to 1 and bring it back down to nothing. So it's like, you can see like really see the defined shadows. Specular intensity, I'm not really sure if that makes as much of a difference as far as like the glow. And yeah, let's see here. If I up to 100, yeah. So specular intensity is not really another way to do it. Okay, finally, The last way to get let's see here. Yeah. The last way to get a glow effect, I would say, is you do like multiple models, right? You do multiple models, and what you do is you crank. Let's change the color, right, of this pink, this to pink, and we'll change this one to kind of to like a light pink as well, right? Probably this one will probably crank down a little bit, something like that. Okay, now, so the way you get a glow effect is you take the color. This is interesting. You take the color and what you do is you take the opacity down on one of the objects to start. Okay. Now I want you to notice something. Okay, like you have to look closely at this because it's kind of difficult to see, but watch closely how I do this. When I go to opacity 100, you're going to see this option here, this blending option, disappear. All right, it's gonna go away. Okay, so I go to 100, and then the blending option's gone. That's because if the opacity is 100%, you're not doing any blending, right? You're not. There's no blending, ability anymore. You blend two things with less than 100% opacity. So let's do that. Let's take the opacity down on that one. Let's take the opacity down on this one. Okay. Now, then you can increase the incandescence a little bit, and then you start doing like an additive type of blending or something. Yeah, something like additive, and then increase the incandescence. Increase the incandescence to 1 or something like that. So that's a slight glow effect that you can kind of get, but the only problem with that glow effect, I would say, is that you get, it's a see-through, right? It's a see-through glow, and that's okay. But it's interesting. You can get really, really different colors out of this. Let's see here. Let's make it just a tiny bit bigger. Well, anyways, you can get some kind of like funky glow effects out of it, like by doing some blending tricks. But I would say the best glow effects that you can get are by increasing the incandescence to 1 on an object, and then also super, super cool to have point lights. Now, the only thing about point lights, though, is you don't want to have too many in a scene. I would say maybe like a max, like 6 or 7 or 8, point lights in a scene, because they are a little bit taxing on the software, or at least on the hardware, if you have a ton of them, right? Especially if they're moving around a lot. Okay, cool. Next question. I'm looking to make a Candy Crush type game. Any good ideas about where to start? Okay. I'm going to share a BB doc with you right now. Let's see here. One moment. I'm pulling it up right now. Okay. This is not the greatest example, but it's not bad. So I'm going to show it to you. And let's open it up real fast. I'm going to give you this template as an example, just to get started. Okay. This game was some features may not be available. Okay, that's fine. So let's take a look and see if this is still working as a template. So basically, the way that this game is made is that if there are any similar colors next to it, it will click them, and then it'll drop down more colors. And then if you click one that doesn't have any colors next to it, you lose the game. And I did it too many times. So, but you can click like this guy. Here's a good example. You can click this one, and they'll all refill. You can click this guy, and they'll all, it's kind of like Candy Crush, but there's a little bit of an error right there. they didn't fill all the way back out that time. So anyways, this is probably not complete. This is definitely not complete, but this could at least get you started as part of the way. And so what I would do is I would take a look at this BB doc, see how it's done, and then if you have any questions about the BB doc, reach out on Discord, reach out on through support or the forum. That's probably the best way to go. So I'll go ahead and give you this. Let's see here. Okay, cancel. Hold on. It is a match to demo. Match to demo. Match to demo. Okay, cool. There it is. Let's throw it up onto Discord so you guys can all grab it. Match to demo, and there you go. Okay, so that'll at least get you started. And yeah, let us know what if you get stuck though, okay? Because it's not super like straightforward. There's no custom code, thankfully. There's no custom code, but it is a little bit tricksy. So just let us know if you have questions. Okay, how do you size up a character? Snowball effect, getting bigger as it goes along the road, collecting snow. So what I would do for that is like probably a scale animation. And I would do it like triggered by running into some snow, right? Like let's say the way your game works, right, is you have like, let's say you're just going down like a snowy path, right? But then you have like little piles of snow that are a little bit bigger, you know, and they're pronounced. You can see them raised up, little piles of snow. And then as the snowball, you know, hits those, it gets bigger, right? The scale goes up, right? And then, or you have something like, you know, you're on a dry road and then your snowball's like slowly running out, but then you hit patches of snow to refill. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at how that's done. So I'll create new here, start fresh. Okay, cool. All right, so let's add another scene. Let's name this scene 1. Let's get rid of the main character and stretch out the scene. Okay. Let's get a little snowy patch in there, a little snowball in there. Let's zero it out, make it kind of like that, a little patch. You're rolling down the path and on the ground, and you hit this little patch, and you want to get a little bigger. That's going to be the deal. So snow patch, and we're going to make this static, and then, yeah, we'll make it static. We'll make the cube a character. Call it character. Okay, and we'll give the character movement down the path. We'll give it like -10 to go down the path. And we'll say if we collide with the snowball, if we collide with the snow patch, then we want to do a scale animation. Scale animation. Sweet. Okay. And then we do scale animation, probably do linear. And let's see here, duration. Let's just test to see how this looks. It might end up getting a little bit. Let's do 2, 2, and 2. Try to make it a little bit bigger, and we'll make it take place over like a half a second, and then yeah, I think that's good. Let's take a look here. The only thing I would say is that, yeah, I think we're good. Oh wait, I forgot. My bad. I need to make the character have 0. So when you have zeros in for the speed, on a jump, on a move node, that means it's for dynamic objects, it's going to not let gravity work, okay? Because you're fighting against gravity if you're putting it as 0. So let's just see how this works. Oh, okay, that was a little bit too big. Let's... oh, man. The scale animation, I went crazy with it. Let's go 1, 1, and 1. And then also, let's do... let's make it so that, like, when you hit the snowball, right? Maybe when you collide with the snowball, it, or character, maybe what it does is it either is removed, right? Or you could I could kind of like see it sinking into the ground. I was thinking maybe we do like a position animation even. You know, instead of just removing it, just add a position animation to it. Maybe make it like -2. That way it almost looks like it's melting, you know what I mean? And yeah, like -2, 1, linear. Alright, let's check that out. Pretty cool. Hey, the snow kind of looks like it's melted. The only thing is the character is just going nuts, right? So let's do the position factor 0, and that's good. And we can do it a little bit of a height, but the rotation factor, let's not do so much of a rotation factor. And then also maybe we start off with the cube a little bit smaller, something like that. And then let's give it a little bit more of an angle. Okay. And then we'll have the camera follow the character. Cool. Position follow character. Alright, let's take a look. Woo! That's cool. So as you're hitting these snowballs, and it looks like the snowballs are kind of melting. What I might do though is watch this. So the snowball collision shape is just getting a little... Oh, that's why. Look, okay, so first off, let's do sphere, and then let's crank this down quite a bit so that it is, let's see, yeah, let's crank it down so that it's not creating such a bump, right? So something like that. Okay, cool. Let's try that. Nice. Cool. And then it continues to, it stays the same size. I wonder if, interesting. I wonder if you could do something like you have it hit the ground and it starts getting smaller and smaller. Let's see here. So we have a scale animation. If it collides, we want to do the scale animation, and then is delta. Let me check something. Because I want it to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't want it to just get bigger once, and then that means I have to like make a million different snowballs. And then let's do something like this: 1.1, 1.1, and 1.1. Okay. No, it's not getting any bigger. Okay, so because it goes to 1.1, I think. All right, so if I already have the cube at 1.1, will it make it bigger or will it keep it the same? It keeps it the same. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna look into actually trying to make that get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm thinking that there's a way to do it, maybe with like a like a timer node or something like that. But the problem is this is just going to like it's just gonna take you to that target scale. It's not going to like increase in like what we actually need is we need a scale multiplier, right? We need to like say I want to increase the scale by like this percentage, right? Each time. I don't want to increase the scale to this. I want to increase the scale by this much. So, okay, I'm going to make a quick note of that, guys, and then we'll keep moving on. Make a note to add scale multiplier node. Scale animation multiplier or scale multiplier animation. That's what it is. Scale multiplier animation, or add some sort of scale multiplier to the scale animation node. Okay. I do think that would be useful, right? Especially if you're looking at this example, you want it to increase by a certain amount. There might be a way to actually do it. Let's see here, scale. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I can't. It's not coming to me off the top of my head, so I'm gonna have to talk to a developer first. But let me go ahead and just give you this for now, so that you can at least this is what you. Yeah, so at least this gives you something. Okay, so Snowball scale animation. And you know what? Let's save it. But actually, let's take this guy. Let's make it a sphere. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll make it a sphere. And then it'll look more like a snowball game. So let's take a look at that. Bigger snow. Oh darn it! Okay, I gotta make a little smaller snowball. Okay. Cool. And then there we go. Big snow patch, and then you keep going. All right. Now let me go ahead and save this. I'll give this to you for right now. I'm sorry that I don't have it so that it's continuously getting bigger and bigger. That is unfortunate. Let me see. I'll see what I can do about it, though. I'll make sure I give it a go. All right. I will hand you this. Okay, cool. Snowball scale animation. Next question. How do you size up a character? Sorry, I already answered that question. How do I add animations and characters from Blender to Buildbox? Dude, okay, so I don't know how to do animations with Blender yet, but I'm actually really excited that you asked this question because I learned how to do some texture mapping with Blender, and this what I'm about to show you is probably worth its weight in gold. So let me just jump into it, okay? So let's say I'm going to start off with creating a texture. All right, I want you all to be to like just say, okay, I'm going to create a texture, and I want this part to look like this and this part to look like this. I'll show you the example right now. Okay. Sorry, Affinity Designer is taking its sweet time to fire up right now. Okay, so cool project. So let's say how in Buildbox we do texture mapping, right? You have a 3D model and then you have your texture. So let's go ahead. Let's build a texture, just a little square texture, and then I'm going to say, okay, well, oops, I'll use actually like a gray texture, and then I'll say, okay, also in this texture, I'm going to for sure use the color red. I'm going to use a red button, okay? Then I'm going to have like a green button, let's say. And then I'll have a yellow button. Okay, I'm going to make a control panel, all right? So this is my texture, all right? And I'm going to show you how to map these colors in a unique way to a 3D model. Okay, so I'll group these guys together. I'll export it out. Okay, so we'll export it to the desktop, and we'll say this is Blender texture or BB texture, Buildbox texture. Okay, we'll save that sucker right there. Okay, now let's open Blender. I'm super excited to show you guys this, actually. Like, basically, I'm going to teach you guys right now how to make like any 3D model and put any sort of texture where you want it, okay? So check this out. So first, I'll just give you this as an example, okay? So Blender starts you off with a cube, right? So the first step that you do is you go down here to this world, okay? Then you go to surface, or you go to base color, all right? Then you go to base color, and you see this little circle next to base color, right next to it. It's a little tiny circle. Click that, all right? And then click image texture, all right? So now you're saying, I want to use an image for the texture of this thing instead of some base color, all right? Then we gotta select the texture. So we'll go to open, we'll go to desktop, and then I'm gonna select BB texture. Right there, you can see it listed right there, and I'm going to open image, okay? Now, the texture's already being mapped onto there, but you can't see it. So you have to hit this little button up here in the top right corner. It says Viewport Shading, okay? That will show you the texture right there, okay? So you see how we had that like weird texture before, right? It's got like, you know, I got my red square, my green square, my yellow square, right? That's being mapped on here, and it's looking all weird, right? Okay. Also, guys, if you want to, you can also hit this little button here at the top, Viewport Shading. That will also show you your texture mapping as well. Okay. So, anyways, so now we've got this texture, right, and it's all messed up. All right, and if you try to add this object into Buildbox and you try to add the texture to it, that's what it's going to look like. All right, which is not what we want. So, okay, we're going to fix this. So go up to the very, very top right corner. This is a cool thing that Blender does, but it's also kind of weird. So you go up to the top left, and you see how my mouse is now become like a crisscross thing like this, right? That will allow me to pull out a second window, which we need to do, okay? So I'm going to yank this sucker out, and it opens up like this second window inside Blender. All right, now but it's the same window, right? It's like both the same, so like that's not useful. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the editor type. We're gonna go to the top left corner, and we're going to switch to UV editor, okay? And then we're going to it's gonna just give us practically nothing, and it's like, okay, what the heck is this? So then we have to select in the top center, we have to select the image that we want to look at. So I'm going to select BB texture, all right? That's the texture that we want to manipulate, and we created this texture in Affinity Designer. You guys all know about it. So, okay, now the next thing we need to do is we need to look at how the model is using this texture and how this like is being mapped back and forth, right? So let's go up here to the top corner here and switch from object mode to edit mode, okay? Then it's kind of hard to see, but there's little squares here, okay? And you can see what I'm gonna actually hit this little button right here, and it says it's a different UV selection mode. This is going to allow me to select faces, okay? So I'm gonna select faces now, and it's kind of hard to see for you guys. I'm gonna try to zoom in here as much as I can. Let's see. Can you guys, I don't know if you guys can see that, but hopefully you guys can. Maybe you guys can zoom in or something or look at this later. But there are boxes each here, all these boxes, and that is how the texture is being mapped, right? So let's do this. Let's go here. I'm going to select just this face, okay? Or let's select this front face, okay? Because the front face, it's got something weird going on to it, right? It's got the red and the green. Well, let's say I want this front face to just be green. All right, let's make that happen. So I'll select the face here. I'm going to hit S on my keyboard. I'm going to hit S on my keyboard, and that's going to activate the scale tool in Blender. And then you just move your mouse, you just make it a little bit smaller, and then you hit enter on your keyboard, okay? And then now it's going to stay that scale, And if you want to reverse it, you just hit S again and or Control Z or whatever, you know. Okay, then the next thing, after you've scaled it, you make it smaller, I'm going to hit G on my keyboard. You hit G on your keyboard, and that allows you to move it, okay? So I'll move it, I'll select it, I'll click with my mouse, and I'll leave it there, okay? And then what I've got is I've got a green side, okay? And now let's say I want to make the top side yellow, okay? So I click the top side here, I select the face over here, I'm going to just scale it down a little bit again because it's a little bit too big for the texture box I made, right? But that's not a problem because you can just make it smaller, right? And then you go here and you just map it over, you click, and now you got a different color on the top of the cube, right? And you could do this however the heck you want, right? So you could like build some texture that's got like cheetah print and like a brick print, or a wood, or some wood or something like that, right? All on the same texture, right? And you just map it. You do the different texture mapping like this, right? And then you just export it like this, and it works perfectly. All right. Let me show you something. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna keep this simple. Actually, I'm not gonna build like some elaborate 3D model. But the point is what I'm getting at here is like, okay, you can make a cube in Buildbox, right? But you can't make it so that the cube maps like this. So this is a special cube. All right. And you can also like let's try to make an object actually that you maybe can't make in Buildbox. You know what? Actually, the cube's fine. It works for example purposes. All right. So I'm hitting the middle button on my mouse right now, and that I'm holding it down, and that allows me to spin the camera around and rotate the camera around. All right. So let's select this side. Let's make this side red. Let's make that side red. Let's make that side green. I don't know, for whatever reason. Make it green. Okay. Enter. G. Hit G to move it. Select it. Reposition it. Okay. And let's keep the gray. Let's just keep the gray as the sides. Okay. So we got yellow on top and the bottom, and then we got green and red on opposite sides. And and then the grays on the side. Okay, cool. So now we've made this model. And it works with this texture in this way. So let's go to File, and then go to Export, and then go to wavefront.obj. Okay, and I'm gonna just save it to my desktop, and I'm gonna say this is the cube texture mapping example. Mapping cube texture mapping. Go ahead and save that. Now we're going to export the OBJ. Right there. Click the export the OBJ button. So that will export the MTL and the OBJ right there to the desktop. We don't need the MTL, and we already have the texture, so we're good to go. So anyways, so now we can close Blender. Okay. And then let's throw our object. Let's throw our object here, our special cube into BB. Then we add the texture, and then look at that. It's colored perfectly, just like it was in. Or actually, hold on. That's strange. The bottom is no longer yellow, is it? Huh. That is weird. I've never had that happen before. I wonder if there was something I did. Let's take a look. Let's see. Blender. Did I do something? Oh, I made it green. I'm such a dummy. My bad. All right, sorry guys. I thought I thought that it was Buildbox's mistake, but it was my mistake. At some point, what I must have done is I must have moved this, right? So here, I'll show you an example. Let's do edit mode. Select this guy, and then G, go there, and then it's now it's yellow on both sides. And okay, cool. So we'll go here. All right, perfect. I'm gonna export this one more time just to be persnickety. I know this is silly, but I'm going to, just to show you that it does work. So texture mapping 1. I'll do it again. Okay, so I'll delete this one. Sorry, that was my mistake. So cube texture mapping 1 example. Now I'm going to drop in the texture. It's going to do the same thing. It's going to be perfect. So texture, now it's yellow on both sides, top and bottom, there, as you can see. And it's red on one side and green on the other. Now, and here's the difference, right? So let's say I just try to add another cube, right? I just try to add a regular cube in Buildbox, and I don't do what I just did in Blender, right? And I tried to add that texture. Look what's going to happen. See how the texture, what it does is it maps the texture to each face of the cube. So it doesn't allow you to have this sort of like variability where you can say, okay, I want this side to be green, I want this side to be red, I want this side to be purple or blue or whatever. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of cool thing that you can do with texture mapping and Blender. And yeah, and the thing is like with Blender, you can make like really cool shapes that you can't really make in Buildbox necessarily, not yet. So like, let's say for instance, I'll add a bevel, right? And I'll make this something like that, okay? So make a complex shape in Buildbox like that. And then what I can do is I can select each one of these and change the colors. So, okay. Anyways, I hope that I didn't go into, bore you guys with that or anything like that. But, so that was pretty quick. I would watch this recording later and watch it again, okay? Because also Blender has some funky stuff. But basically, I'll go through it very, very slowly again. You want to go to the world. You want to change base color to image texture. Select your texture. Split the screen open. Pull out another window. Then go to UV editor. Then select the texture that you want to, you're working with, and then start doing your mapping, right? You go to edit mode over here. You got to make sure you're in edit mode. Go over here so that you can select faces, and then start repositioning the faces onto the colors that you want, or the textures that you want. You can do like a gradient, or like I said, cheetah print, brick, wood. The possibilities are limitless. Okay. Cool. So I hope that was helpful. Yeah, I want to make another tutorial for that one later, but I might as well just spit it out now since I got it off the top of my head. Okay. Is it possible to make a game like AFK Arena? What is AFK Arena? I don't know what AFK Arena is, actually. I'm sorry. That's like, what does AFK stand for? AFK Arena. I probably should know this. Okay, I can tell you right now, this looks super cool. Okay. Let me get some gameplay video here. Let me see. Dude, this looks awesome, though. Biggest mistakes to avoid? I just want to see gameplay. There we go. Let's see this. Yeah, I think you could. It would be extensive. It would be a ton of work. Look how involved this is, looks like they got a nice static image for the background. They got a lot of 2D animations going. They've got this UI here at the bottom that's involved, and it's dynamic. It's changing. That's really cool. I think you could make this. But unfortunately, I know for a fact you would need to use custom code at this point. With BB3 at this point, yeah. But it doesn't mean that you can't do it. You can still do it. You can still make this game for sure. So, yeah, hopefully that... I don't know if that helps you, because you probably want to do it without having to do custom code, but that the truth is you could do it. It's just you gotta probably put some time in. All right, Renato Jakowatz. Hi, Zach. How to do something like a Tron game where the player's trail effect remains in the scene for a while, being able to kill the player if it touches his own trail or touching enemy's trail. Yeah, so basically all you do, man, is you hold on. The problem is, so I know how to make a trail, but the problem is to make the trail. I know what you're asking though. You're asking, can you make the trail effect go like this, right? Like you need this trail to go in right angles, and it needs to stay at those right angles. All right, let's try this. Let's give it a go. I think I can do this. All right. So I'm gonna start fresh. Actually, this is like a brand new 3D world here. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do a cube, just to start off with. Okay, this is gonna be the ground for right now. We'll make it a platform. We'll make it static. We'll make it greenish. Kind of muted green. All right, cool. We got some ground. All right, now. All right, there we go. So got some ground to run on at least. Let's zoom out so we can see this ground. I'm gonna do kind of more of like a 3D or kind of like a 2D angle sort of thing. All right, now let's get this sucker big, nice and big. Big enough so that we can do something with this. Okay. Now, let's get another cube and another cube. And this is going to be, I'm going to delete this guy. This is going to be the main character. Oops, sorry. I'm going way too fast for Buildbox, and it hates me. Okay. I need to slow down. Okay, and I'm gonna save. I'm gonna save as Tron game. Sorry, sometimes I just get a little too excited and I start clicking buttons like it's a lightning round, and then you start seeing poor Buildbox. Oh, look at it suffering right there. That's terrible. I try to add cubes and it just is not happening. Alright, well, looks like I broke the build box. Alright guys, I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to exit out and I'm going to start all over again. Sorry about that, guys. I'm pretty sure that's because I was clicking. So let's start again. Create new. Okay. Go a little slower this time. Call this ground. Make it a platform, make it static, make it green. I don't like the, I don't want to use this ground because it doesn't have physics built into it. Okay. Yeah, make it nice and big and zoom out and zoom out. Okay. Yeah. All right. Perfect. Now, and this is going to be the last question of the day today, guys. I was kind of expecting to get more Game Jam related questions today, but hey, I'm totally down to explore Buildbox. You know I love it. So let's play. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. So let this one cook. Okay, let it add. And then I just added a second one. It doesn't like that. Okay. And if I try to add a third one, it's not going to like that. All right. Something's going on. Well, I'm going to do something else then for the trail. I'm going to have to use... Wow, it won't let me add multiple of the same thing right now. That's strange. Ha. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Well, let's go ahead and see if we can still accomplish this with a cube and a sphere. So I'm going to make this character. I'm going to make this kinematic. I'm going to make this, throw this out here into the wild. Okay. Now, this is going to be on the board. This is it's going to have a trail effect. And it's going to need to have a trail 3D, which we are going to be renaming 3D trail eventually. So just a heads up, guys, we're going to be renaming this 3D trail. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that now. Okay, and then let's go ahead and add the asset here. Let's see here. Or, okay. So, what I would do, actually, maybe not, I don't know if actually 3D trail is the way to do this. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Zoom in. Okay. Now, let's give this character some movement. Let's do 4-way swipe. Oops, that's controls, I meant. So do 4-way swipe. Enabled. We'll do a couple move nodes. Tut, 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 tut. Alright, we'll go up, which will be -10. This will be down, be +10. This will be -10 in the X, and this will be +10 in the X. Perfect. All right. Yeah. All right, let's see if this works here. Okay. Okay, there it is. It's got the angles that I was looking for. Now, technically, this would work for you. Oops, my bad. I made the spheres dynamic. I'm an idiot. Make them kinematic, Zach. Okay. Now, this would work for you. But you have to make the spheres, you have to make it so that if they collide with the spheres, if they collide with the spheres, then yeah, if they collide with the spheres, then they defeat the character, right? That's what you want to do. So you would make it so like something like let's say you had another player, right? And you would just say something like, if collide with, the sphere, then defeat this thing, And so now when they collide with the 3D object back there, then it's going to defeat the object. Now I'm kind of curious what it would look like if we did cubes. You know what I mean? And then, so if let's say we did cubes and we even did like a light opacity, you know what I mean? Like kind of like a trail effect, right? Son of a gun. Let's see if this works. Okay. Not quite what I was hoping for. Let's make maybe a little longer. I wonder if that'll work. Yeah, let's try 2. A little longer. I don't think that's actually the way we want to go. I think we want to go 2 here. Yeah, let's see. No, that didn't quite work, did it? You know what though? Let's do this. I got an idea. Let's do 1 and 1, and then with the cube, with the 3D trail, distance, that's what it is. Let's do distance 0. Oh, oops, my bad. Distance 1. Okay, not 1. 1 point. Let's do 2. Hey, that looks almost pretty good. There's something going on with that, right? But for a split second, that actually looks pretty solid. Like, watch this. When you go to the left, right there, for a split second, it actually looks pretty good. Okay, so that should at least get you started, right? And then it'll be the same thing is if it hits those objects back in the back behind the square, it will defeat with the other player, right? So that's kind of like pretty close. So I'll go ahead and save this as Tron style game. And this will just get you part of the way there. Okay, and then I'll share this right now on Discord, and then we'll call it a day for today, guys. Cool. Awesome. Hey, thank you so much. Let me make sure. Okay, let me see if I can fit in one last question quickly. When I use the timer node to spawn, how can I slow it down and then make it go faster? When I use the timer node to spawn, how can I slow down the timer node? This is what I would do, is once you set up the timer node for one length of time, and then you connect a different timer node, like later, right? That goes faster. So try using multiple timer nodes. That's all I'm going to say for right now. If you come back, though, on the next live stream and you ask this question again, I will answer it in person, okay? But hey, thank you guys so much for joining the live stream today. I hope you guys thought this was useful. I really hope you guys try the texture mapping thing. Hit me up if you have any questions about it. It's not super easy, but it's really fun when you get it down, and you can do so much with it. It would be really useful for the game jam this weekend. So all right, guys, hope you guys have a great weekend. Do a great job, work hard on the game jam, and we're really excited to see what you make. And yeah, have a great weekend, guys. See you guys later.